Hi. Hi. I am Kristen Vassor, and I have Terri Lewis with me, and we are both coaches who feel very strongly that if we understand our emotions, then we understand the world better, we show up better, and we just want to share that message with all of you. So, hi Terri, how are you today?
Hey, great. Glad to be here. I'm good.
Yeah. So Terri and I met just through coaching, and we, chatted and kind of figured out that we have similar backgrounds in the way that we were treated, or taught to handle our emotions. So we're going to start with how we were taught to handle our emotions when we were children, how that affected us in adulthood before we learned how to understand our emotions, and then how understanding our emotions has changed our lives in adulthood. So, Terri, do you want to get started and just tell us what was it like when you were growing up and you had a big emotion? What was that like for you?
Okay. What it was like for me was when I had big emotions, it was always they're too much. Just calm down, or you make mountains out of molehills. You're too sensitive. There was a lot of messages around, being too much and
Mm-hmm.
push it down, messages,
Mm-hmm.
which as a kid, you're just learning about your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and just having messages like push it down, you're too much. I started to make a story in my head, something's wrong with me. I need to be different. And you know, that's some of the effect that it had for me.
Right. Did that come from your parents, from siblings, from school, or where did that
Mainly
come
from
from?
my parents, both
Okay.
my parents. Yeah, both
Yeah,
my
yeah.
parents.
What did you do because even though they told you to push it down and you were too much, you still had the same emotions.
Yeah.
Um, what did you do to deal with your emotions when you were a kid then?
Mm, I would say I tried to stuff them. I tried to just really hold them. I felt very lonely,
Mm,
lonely in my emotions. I think I would hide away and just
hmm.
be by myself because like to kind of wait until it went away, or well, it didn't really go away, but until
Right.
it calmed down some. So um that's the only way. Like, I don't think I really acted out or anything like that in that way. I think it was more like went into myself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, for me, my my mom used to say, like, if I was crying, she would get upset that I was crying. She would get mad at
Oh,
me.
oh, mad. Upset as in mad. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So she would get mad at me. There were four of us, and so I kind of learned too, like from my older siblings, um, if they were upset and my mom got upset with them, I learned from that scenario to just be quiet, not to have big emotions. And yeah, my mom would get mad. And I know now as an adult that she just had anxiety and it was too much. She was overstimulated. She had four kids. So I know
Okay.
that now as a mom and as an adult.
Okay.
But yeah, she would yell at us if we got hurt, or if we were arguing with each other, she would get like very upset. Um, and for me, I taught myself to deal with my emotions by eating. That was how I coped. So I would still have the big emotions, and because I was never taught what to do with them, and I was almost like shamed for feeling emotions, um, I would just eat. I would just I ate a lot. So I gained a lot of weight when I was like second grade, and that's how I coped forever until I got older. Um, I also, to my siblings,
Hmm.
um, and my dad, like I think both my parents and my two older siblings, like they would make fun of me for having big emotions too. So
Mm.
if I was like crying, I would get made fun of. And again, I don't blame my parents. I had really good parents, like definitely. Like I would never complain about them, but they just never were taught how to deal with their emotions. And so we just emotions were a joke to us, and we would be
Oh,
teased if we felt, a strong emotion.
okay.
Um Even like love and like caring, like that didn't happen either. Like it wasn't like, "Oh, I
Okay.
love you so much." Like nothing like that. It was just it was like a joking environment or like a teasing environment, like a lot of that, but
Gotcha.
never any like
Affection or
yeah,
your
when I was younger, there was definitely affection, but
okay.
um just growing, just like when we were probably elementary school age, about that's when it was and I also have a younger sister too, and I don't know, like that's when it all kind of just like it wasn't okay to show like love and affection or anything like that. It was like
Oh, okay.
almost like an embarrassing thing. So yeah,
Okay.
so I am very good at not feeling my emotions
Gotcha. Gotcha.
or eating them or whatever. So that's
Yeah,
that's
well,
where I
you
learned
brought
it.
now that you brought that up, I didn't relate like that. I mean, I do definitely eating it in adulthood,
Hmm.
but I probably did it as a kid too, but I didn't have the effect of gaining weight. I was never
Yeah.
heavy. So, but
Yeah.
I definitely used it as a soothing mechanism,
Mhm.
and but I didn't really
Yep.
think about that. The only thing I thought about is hiding away. Like even as
Yeah.
an adult, a lot of times I I would call what I call take to the covers,
Mhm.
sleep, because then you
Yeah.
don't have to feel it. It's like you can numb it out, your head isn't going.
Yep. Yeah, so tell me more about that. So you didn't find like this work until your kids were older, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me what like how you showed up as an adult, not like understanding your emotions like you do now. How did that affect you?
How did it affect me as an adult?
Yeah.
Um, well, definitely not knowing how to handle my emotions in relationship with my spouse. I would say there was a lot of triggers, a lot of
Mhm.
triggers. And those triggers, like it caused a lot of conflict in our marriage because as he would um how would I say it? Like we know it's not about the trash, right? Or it's not about
Mhm.
whatever the issue is. But what would happen when that idea of I was too much, like I married a spouse who doesn't deal with emotions at all, like conflict,
Mhm.
oh my God. Like, so there was a lot of miscommunication, and those triggers caused me to like go from 1 to 10, like that anger
Mhm.
anger. And the emotion, what I found with that was it really was more hurt, but
Mhm.
it was anger that came out, right? So then if you're married to a spouse that doesn't like conflict, then he's shutting down. And so it affects me a lot in my marriage and relationship. And even with
Mhm.
other people, because, you know, as we're younger and we have that filter of like something's wrong with me, my emotions are too much. We almost have those glasses on or those that perception. So even with other people, a lot of times I felt like they were thought I was too much or I wouldn't say or you know, I might say something and then back down because have their reaction. So it affected a lot of a love for myself big time. It
Mhm.
affected me in the way of not loving myself, thinking something was wrong with me, that I needed to be fixed, that
Mhm.
why can't I? I mean, even in my biz, like everything it affected because
Mhm.
that idea of when you don't really love yourself, you have this
Mhm.
idea I'm defective, I need to be different,
Yeah.
it just really it affected everything.
Right. Because for you, your emotions are a big part of who you are.
Yes,
And yeah.
yes, like yes, absolutely. I feel like I'm a very sensitive person. I feel deeply,
Yep.
and so even as like my sister, she would be like, Tara, just let it roll off your back. Like, what? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I so much wanted a deep connection with people that I would try to like, let's talk about this that bothered me. And people are like, get the hell out of here. We don't want to
Right.
talk. Like, it's, like, and so I had that message, like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just roll it off my back? And when you
Mhm.
talk to yourself and don't love yourself, it affects everything.
Right. Right. That's right. So for me, I found this work, I think I was about 38. So my daughters were maybe like 8 and 10 or 8 and 11 or something like that. So I parented them in a way that I not that I don't think I was a bad mom. I don't think anyone who like doesn't understand their emotions is a bad mom. I just think I'm a better mom because I understand them. So um something that I I still remember my daughter who has very big emotions.
Okay.
Um, and I did not understand them. I thought
Mm.
she was going to be just like me, and I
Right.
yeah. So and she's not. She's a very deeply feeling human. And I remember one time she used to get in like drama with her friends a lot because she would get very upset at things. And she came home and her best friend was mad at her and she was never talking to her again. And I just wanted to fix it because I didn't want her to feel negative emotions because we don't feel negative emotions. Like, that's not
Yes.
okay. So I still remember that day being like, okay, let's just order Papagenos and eat candy and we'll watch a movie. Like, I was trying to fix her emotions, and and the way for it was teaching her the way that I learned, which was to eat. So
Hmm.
that transferred over a lot. And then also too, for me, when I was a young adult, I learned not to push my feelings down with food, but I started to push my feelings down with alcohol.
Hmm.
And so when my daughters were young, I used to drink a lot. And I know now it's because I was just like, I would feel frustrated, I would
Hmm.
feel exhausted, I would feel annoyed, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would say, okay, you could just have wine at the end of the day. And I would immediately feel better. Like, that's what I
Mhm.
would tell myself to get through my day instead
Okay.
of what I do now. And I'll explain that later. But yeah, and so when I found this work, I was able to stop coping with alcohol, which I'm so proud of because I don't show my kids me drinking all the time. Like, my son would have no idea what wine even is, but my daughters, when they were his age, they would know what wine was, you
Hmm.
know? So I definitely see like a huge difference that I don't have those coping strategies that I needed to have before that had such negative effects on me and even on my parenting. And then now with that daughter who has the big emotions, she if she's upset, if she's feeling down, I never try to fix it. I just sit with her and just listen as best I can. So I don't know. I believe my daughter, this daughter, was sent to me. She's also a Cancer sun like you.
Uh,
That she was sent to me to
yeah.
teach me how to feel my emotions and that it's okay. And I that's what I truly believe, that she taught me that for sure. So,
Yes. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
thank you.
And that's the thing. Validation is what we look for.
Mhm.
We don't want to be fixed because when you're trying to fix, yeah. So that's an awesome example of um you doing it for your daughter and us doing it for ourselves. Yeah.
That's
I
right.
love
That's right.
that. I
That's
love
right.
that.
Yeah, and two, like, when I'm able to see, like, the difference between how I was before and how I am now, it also allows me to very much, like, forgive my parents for not and I never felt any I didn't even need to forgive them, that's the only way I know how to put it, but, like, my parents can just like, I know my parents didn't know any better, just like I didn't know any better. Do you know what I mean? So there's
Yeah.
zero it's just like there's an understanding of we're all doing the best we can with what we have in front of us, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
just there's a process. Well, for me, there was definitely a process of acknowledging and kind of journaling and getting like
yeah.
because I did have a lot of anger and a lot of resentment. I mean, I love my parents. I don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, and but so, like even as I'm still processing some things, it's it hides the good stuff, you know,
Mhm.
like focusing on man, like how hurting that was and how that what, damn, all these effects of, what they did. Like I had to get through that and acknowledge that and process that to
Mhm.
really be able to see, wow, like my mom was amazing,
Mhm.
she did do a lot of fun things. So I think um and I don't know if there's anybody on here who has kids that might say like I know I raised my kids the best I knew how,
Yeah.
and my heart would never do anything, right? But they have
Mhm.
effects. They do.
Yep. Yep.
And I used to get so like angry. Like, are you kidding? You think I didn't love you? You think what I did was, destroying you? But
Yeah.
that's a now it's like accepting what your kids say and
Mhm.
listening to get it. And I get
Yeah.
it,
Mhm.
and I that's going off a little bit, but in my heart, I know that what I was doing was for their best. Now, as I
Mhm.
learn and grow, yeah, there was a lot of,
Yeah.
and I could see that. So I think it's
Yep.
hard sometimes if you have some adult kids that are like in that stage where they don't quite see yet that
That they know better than you.
right or that
Yes.
they don't see your heart,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah. And I think they don't see it until they have children and they
right.
understand how difficult it is to be a mom. So,
Yes.
and that's what when you were saying that, like, I think when you're able to forgive others for not
Yeah.
showing up as their best self, you're
Mhm.
able to forgive yourself for not showing up as your best self. And there's so much less shame, like in our mistakes that we made as moms or as wives or as friends or sisters, because if we accept them for them on their worst days, we can accept us for us on our worst days. And it really is a reciprocal thing. But
Right.
I think the work starts with yourself.
I was going to say the point, yeah, I agree with you because I've noticed the more I'm tender and understanding of myself, I'm
Oh,
much more tender and understanding to other people, right? You
yeah.
allow for it. So that's what I would say to the audience. If you're criticizing other people again, I like look inward because and
Mhm.
that's where your power is. That's the greatest thing that I've
That's
learned
right.
from this work is
Mhm.
that I do have power. I'm not I want to say hopeless or powerless.
Mhm.
Like now I see my emotions as my superpower. Like
Right, right.
superpower.
Yeah, so tell us about that. Like, what have you done in your transformation and what are the things that kind of things that you do to understand your emotions and make them your superpower?
Well, the first thing was talking about eating. That's why I was searching online for something. Like I know I eat my emotions, but I don't know how to process. Like I sit there, okay, what am I feeling? I don't know what the hell I'm feeling anyway. So I found this heart work journaling, which was called Doodle Your Emotions. And that's what started to crack the egg and open up for me um to accept your emotions and understand more. So I did that for a year. They had like a university. I did that. And it taught me tools that I mean, unbelievable. I found
Mhm.
so powerful. Like, one of the big things is like doing a thought download, right? Just
Mhm.
like, and I think you probably do something like that too. It's just like
Yep.
in the morning, like just dump them all out, no judgment, whatever they are. Like, and if somebody, you don't want somebody to see it because you'd be like, oh, hell, if they knew this is what I thought. But that is where it is. And then the exercise of taking picking one of those thoughts and walking them through. We call it like the equation of emotion, and
Mhm.
learning the idea that um, emotions are caused by our thoughts,
Mhm.
and walking through that is so powerful. Like, first of all, oh, let me say we all need coaches, right? Because
Mhm.
because we live, say we're like in a picture frame. It's hard for us to see ourselves, but somebody else can and kind of help us see
Mhm.
some of those things. And just learning, at first I didn't like it, the concept. What do you mean my thoughts are what cause my emotions? That circumstances are neutral? No. If he if he says ABC, this is what it
Yeah.
is. But um it's so powerful. Like looking at your thoughts and being able to change that thought. Like I'll
Mhm.
give an example. Say, I'm gonna clean my bedroom, and my thought is like, oh, I hate cleaning my bedroom. So then you look at, okay, how does it make you feel when you think that? Well, I feel like crap, right? And when you feel like
Mhm.
crap, what actions do you take? Well, I procrastinate. I usually don't do it. I put it off. What's the result? The result is I still hate cleaning my bedroom. But just changing that thought to something like, um, I can make a difference in the bedroom in 10 minutes.
Mhm.
How does that make me feel? Well, I feel a little inspired. And then what actions do I take? Well, I take 10 minutes. And then, well, I did make a difference in 10 minutes. You really can. It's not the
Mhm.
whole room, maybe, and just like, oh my God, like sometimes when I do that, I'm blown away at the difference in changing my thought.
Mhm.
Is just like, it's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool to learn.
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest changes for that I had is I used to say to myself or say to other people all the time, "I'm so busy, I have so much to do." Like, I
Yes.
would talk about how busy I was all of the time, constantly. And correspondingly, I was also constantly in stress or overwhelm. That's how I lived my life, like
Okay.
constantly. So
Yes.
then when I realized that thought, like I have so much to do, was creating overwhelm for me, which made me like snap at my family, get mad at my husband because he wasn't unloading the
Doing.
dishwasher.
Hmm.
Yeah, like yell at my kids to hurry up and all these things. When I realized just that one thought, I have so much to
Wow.
do, did all of that. And I was like, well, I could just say something different. And so my
Yes.
replacement thought is I always get it done, which is true. I always get it done. So that
Wow.
is not overwhelmed, but that's just like, I always get it done. So let's go. Like, here we
Yeah.
go. And then I just do the things instead of have all the drama or think that I'm so busy. And that was like a huge, huge change for me when I started looking at my thoughts and my feelings and how they are cause and effect, right?
Yes. And the beauty is it's unique, right? Because what
Mm-hmm.
thought might motivate you, or like
Yep.
we need to look at what for you specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
What for you? What thought for you?
Yep.
And it's a
Yep.
unique, because we all have, none of us have the same background, same we all
Mm-hmm.
have a unique fingerprint. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the beauty.
So you said that you used to have a lot of problems with your husband because you
Yeah.
didn't understand yourself.
Oh my gosh.
So how has that changed since you found the work of understanding yourself?
Well, the big part is those triggers, like they don't happen as much. They still do,
Mhm.
but immediately when I have that trigger now, right? Like that, that feeling like you go from 1 to 10, like you
Mhm.
didn't even have time to think about
Yep.
the thought. It's just a reaction. I know that there's something there deeper than what's happening. So it has so impacted our relationship for me to be able to step back, because that anger is defense, right?
Mhm.
defense, that fight. That's what I learned to do.
Yep.
Anger was fine in my family.
Me, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that emotion was like, yeah. So it helps me, it helped us greatly because I stop and try to like lean in deeper. Like, what is it?
Mhm.
And usually it's her. Like, I feel like I'm not being seen or heard. And that's a big part. Or,
Mhm.
and when I can come from vulnerability, explaining that to my husband, when I come to him and say, I felt like, and well, let me back up a little bit. A lot of it I learned was there was a big wound in me.
Mhm.
And when he hit it, which a lot of times does seem out of control, like he's thinking, why is she like going to a 10 with what I just said? Well, that's because the wound from my childhood is so
Mhm.
raw.
Mhm.
So the more I'm healing that wound, it's becoming smaller. There's less triggers. But when I can share from him, like, you know, what that vulnerable feeling is, like I felt really hurt, like, that you didn't hear what I said, and or then
Yeah.
he can lean in.
Mhm.
He can listen because what I didn't realize was as my anger went, he's like, oh my God, like in his family, dad's mad. Everybody, shut up, and let it blow over. And then they acted like
Mhm.
nothing was wrong. So that was what he was used to. So now he can listen rather than like
Mm.
have a
Be
panic,
afraid.
be
Yeah, he's
panic.
afraid. Yeah. Um, so tell us what happens from you're triggered to you show up to him in a vulnerable way. So tell us what's going on in your brain in between those two, because you have to have a shift before you can go talk to him.
Yeah. So sometimes, I'm still human, but
That's right.
most times, what happens now is as soon as I feel that trigger, I acknowledge it to myself. Oh, okay. Trigger. This is a trigger.
Mhm.
I know this is a
Mhm.
trigger. So that's the first part. That helps me just, stop it. Sometimes I can immediately say, I immediately say to myself, I'm triggered. So what
Mhm.
is it that's
Yep.
happening? And then I try to look at, I would say probably a lot of times it's not validating or what I perceive as not hearing what I said.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like not hearing or being seen is a lot of the
Mhm.
times what it is.
Mhm.
So I kind of stop and then say to my husband, whatever it is.
So
I
just
would say
so you're saying all that you do is
now.
you
Mhm.
feel yeah, you feel triggered.
Yeah, I
You
guess there
you
was a
say,
process, but
I
now
know, you
today,
say I'm triggered and you're immediately you know why, and
yeah,
then you're able to okay, so
yeah,
tell us,
almost.
you said not now. So what did
Well,
you
that's
used to do?
now. I guess
Yeah.
if I go back to the beginning,
Mhm.
um, there was still wanting to fight because there's that fight about it. But then I think I had to step away, like, okay, I'm triggered. We need to
Yep.
stop. And then give myself some time until I could um figure out, like, okay, I had to give time. I definitely did.
Mhm.
In the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
definitely.
And what
Now
I
it's so
think
much
go ahead.
easier. It's like
Yeah.
unbelievable. Trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, know what you
That's
are.
awesome. Yeah,
See
it
ya.
does get better. And what I think you're doing in that when you would step away is you were giving yourself what you needed because you wanted to feel seen. So you saw yourself,
Oh, I didn't think of
paid
it that way.
attention to yourself, and
Oh,
then once you gave yourself what you needed, you were able to then share with him,
okay.
how that yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, I think acknowledging your emotions is probably like that's what I would
Name,
say. Yeah.
yes, name it to
Just
claim it. I've heard a coach say.
yeah,
No,
it's
not name
just
it to claim it. I'm sorry. Name it to tame it.
yep.
Just just acknowledging it.
Right. Yeah, because when we were younger, if we felt a big emotion and we were shamed for that, we learned to just ignore it too. And it just started happening like subconsciously. But when we, like for me, when I get home after school and I've had a long day, and then, my child wants all my attention, but I have to clean up the kitchen and make dinner and then bedtime, and like it's like I just feel a sense of like frustration or dread. And what
Hmm.
I do is I just put my hand on my heart and take a deep breath, and I just say, you're frustrated, you've had a long day, it
Oh,
makes total sense.
oh God, I
And
love that.
yeah, and just that, like, would it be amazing if like someone else did that for me? Sure, but like nobody else is able to answer my emotions better than I am. So when I just do that, just acknowledge it, then that,
Yes.
like, claim it to tame it, like that works really well for me.
I'm
So,
so glad you brought that up because that's been a big aha for me recently.
oh, okay, yeah,
Because, okay, I'm learning to process, you can process it on the page, but in the moment,
right.
how do you, I guess I still had like, well, if I want to be really authentic to people, right?
Hmm.
I want to be my true self. So, but if I'm, let me see if I can describe this. But well, I'll give the example of my workshop. That's how it
Hmm.
really, I was so disappointed. I was on my way to my workshop. There was only
Hmm.
three people that signed up. Two people had to back out for a reason. Well,
Hmm.
just like that, I mean, I pulled over. I just wanted to cry my eyes
Hmm.
out, right? But I'm still going to a workshop for one person, and I want to give them my all. How the hell do I go there now? And for
Yeah.
the first time, and I want to cry about this because this is amazing,
Yeah.
is I said to myself, Terry, okay, disappointment, you're here. Get in the back seat. Get in the back
Yep.
seat now. I'm still going. And I couldn't believe, and I talked to, I talked to
Hmm.
it. I talked to my disappointment in the back.
Yep.
And I said just what you said. You have every right to be here. I get it. You're disappointed and you have the
Hmm.
right. And it like by the time I got to the workshop, I could present. It was
Hmm.
amazing. Just acknowledge it and talk to
Yep.
it and validate it. It
Hmm.
like really calmed it down. And so for me, that's a big thing. Like, I can't, you can be this and that. You can have
Yes.
disappointment and because my thing was always there's only this. And then I'm
Hmm.
stuck in that.
Yep.
I'm sad, I'm disappointed, like,
Hmm.
right? You can be sad
Yeah.
and disappointed about something and put that next to you and
Yep.
be happy about what you're doing right now. And
That's
that
right.
was like, that is
That's big.
amazing to me. That's a new, like,
Hmm.
really big one for me.
Yeah, I believe those emotions are kind of like parts of us from the past that are there and just want to be heard and like understood in a way that we never were when we were younger.
Hmm.
Um, and what you say too, like, because I coach moms, so your example is perfect. When acknowledge your frustration, and that frustrated part of you is there, and you say, I get it, like that makes so much sense. Like to me it sounded so lovely and motherly, that when you learn to do that for yourself, then you learn to do that for your kids. So instead of like saying like, get over it, like we need to just keep going to your kids, you say, yeah, I get
Mm.
why you're frustrated. Like that really,
Oh,
really stinks.
yeah.
And like you hold space for your kids because
Yes.
you're able to hold space for yourself. But you have to start with yourself and your own emotions in order to do that.
Yeah. And another thing is, I think the resistance comes because people might think, and I probably would think, well, I'm acknowledging because I'm feeling my frustration. I'm
Mhm.
feeling my anger. Aren't I acknowledging it? There's a difference because when you
Yes.
right? Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm so frustrated. I hate this frustration. Why do I have to be frustrated? Like you're fighting it, you're resisting
Yep.
what you're feeling. And
Yep.
it like, it's stronger, it's harder, it's hitting. But when you say, oh, frustration, I get you're here. I can see why you're here. It's like it more melts and just
Yep.
becomes less resistant and it can go away quicker. We'd be surprised like
Mm-hmm.
looking back at that workshop and riding there, how quickly then it
Yeah.
dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
But if
That's right.
all the way there, I would have been thinking and, you know, thinking different, like not acknowledging it and
Mm-hmm.
accepting it. Yeah, it would have been a whole different reaction.
Yeah. You would have brought it there. It would have been so much heavier, and your vibration would have been down, and it would have clouded whatever
Yes,
other emotions you chose to, drive the
yes,
car instead of, you know,
yes,
the frustration be in charge, for sure. Yeah.
yes, yes. So
So
powerful.
so what I heard you mention is doing a thought download,
Yes,
noticing your triggers, and now you're really working on talking to your emotions, bringing them with you, but not needing to push them away. Is there any other tool or strategy that you use for yourself or with your clients that helps to understand yourself and your emotions better?
well, I think I do some doodling and painting, and
Hmm.
sometimes we don't always have words to our
Yeah.
like emotions. So sometimes just, on the page or, to let it out. Um,
And you do that with your clients, right? You do
I
doodling
do
with your
that I
clients.
do workshops and, well, no,
Yeah.
for yourself,
Yeah.
like if you're angry, like, and processing something like a lot, writing it down, like, I wasn't always a journaler. I felt like I couldn't write but
Yeah.
anyway, it's like writing it down, like this, she said this, or, you know, and processing that way. And
Hmm.
because of if you have kind of not processed your emotions, what I'm finding is I'll see like a particular person, say a family member or friend,
Hmm.
I've built a lot of resentment
Hmm.
underneath, right? And it's like kind of clean that out, just like journal all about that
Yep.
because and be able to do rip it up or whatever
Hmm.
so that you can start where you are instead of bringing all that with you, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you
This
see
is what is
everything
in
they
front of me.
say or the next
Hmm.
behavior is like it's so much more affects you because there's 20,000 things that you haven't processed,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So
And it
process
helps.
things before you see
Yeah. So that's
someone, or
another
yeah.
good tool I'm learning is like with certain people that you may have built up a lot because you didn't communicate or it's been
Hmm.
like just like clearing the slate and starting over.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. For me, it's if anyone wants to start this work, I started with a thought download, like every day, thought download.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't need to pay anybody. I didn't need to have a coach to start. Like that's the thing too, is I don't care if you say to either one of us, like, hey, I want to sign up for coaching with you. And, obviously we would love to work with you, but you don't have to pay money. You don't have to have a coach. You can just start writing how you feel and the thought that's creating that emotion. And then it starts to transfer over into your daily life. Like, I feel frustrated right now. Why do I feel frustrated? Oh, it's because I'm thinking this. Is there anything else I can think? Like, what else is true? I like to ask that question to myself and to my clients a lot. Like, what else is true about this situation? Or what else could be true? And I always pick the thought that makes me feel better. that's that's my strategy,
Yeah.
So, and we get to decide what we believe. We really do. It's all made up in our heads. So why don't we decide to believe the thought that feels the best and gives us the result that we want? And um yeah, so I don't know. I could go on and on forever and talk about this. I've so many things you said made me think of something, but we'll have to do a part two. So
Yeah.
tell me about, working with you. What does that look like? And if anybody from my audience wants to get to know you, what should they do?
Well, I do one-on-one coaching, but I
Hmm.
also do workshops. And I started a series and emotions are a big thing for
Hmm.
me because that I feel like is like such a focus. Um,
Hmm.
so on the second and fourth Thursday of the night of the month, I'm starting to do workshops on
Cool.
emotions. I'm going to do an emotion. They can connect with me on Facebook.
Hmm.
And I also, like I said, do one-on-one coaching. I'll bring some doodling into the workshop. And the big thing that I always tell my clients is it's not really about the artwork, it's about your heart work. And it's really about that seeing it on the page. I mean, I had a client recently that has been dealing with something, and I had her do some journaling and she wrote down. And when she saw it, she was like, oh my God, I just had a breakthrough. Like all this, when it's up in the head, it just sometimes
Hmm.
goes and goes. But when you see it from a different perspective, it can be life changing. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I
I've
also
done I've done one of those with you, and anybody. I'm not an artist at all. So
me.
don't feel like you can't do it if you're not an artist. It was really
No,
cool.
and you
I
don't
liked it a
even
lot.
have to do the art. You could still
Yeah.
watch. I mean, there's
Yeah.
it, yeah, but
I
yeah.
liked it. Yeah, it was really
Did
cool.
you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And tell us
Awesome.
about your one-on-ones too. What do you do for
Oh, so
that?
I have a 6 month coaching program that
Nice.
I do. Yeah. So,
Nice.
they can hop on a call. And I also
Hmm.
recently I have a 15-minute feeling activation call if anybody would be
Oh,
interested. Yeah.
that's cool.
Just
What do you
like
do
to
for
help
that?
just help to look at a feeling maybe and activate, get them on the road to, and it's a free call. Like,
Oh,
how you
cool.
said, like, just get you like started, get you
Yeah.
activated with dealing with your emotions. So,
Yeah. That's what I think that's such a really good idea, Terry, because all of my clients and many people in my life I know are very afraid of feeling their emotions, so they just push
yes,
them away. And I that's what I teach my clients is no, we have to feel them. We have to go through them in order to get to the
yes,
other side. And it's really not as scary as you think. It's real. So I love that you're doing that 15 minutes activation. If
yeah,
you have an emotion that is really hard for you,
right.
you
Let's just
need
act,
Terry to hold space for
just
you.
15 minutes,
I
to,
love
yeah,
that. That's cool. That's awesome.
yeah,
So they can find you on Facebook if you're in
yes,
my audience, and then and
yes.
on YouTube I'll put your information in the
Okay,
caption and
awesome,
things like that. So, and then if you're a
awesome,
part of Terry's community, um, I am a life coach for moms, but I do coach non-moms as well, women. And the overall transformation that I like to give in my 6 months of coaching is to take away all the thinking that's causing you stress and anxiety, take away all the beliefs that have come from your family when you were younger that don't serve you, all the beliefs that society has given us as women, and just release it all. And the best part is what is left is you and your heart and your soul that is just filled with so much love and joy. And we get you to a point that you're like ready to just share that with the rest of the world. And nothing in your life has to change. It's so cool. It's just you see your life in such a more loving and joyous and gracious way than before when you're like stuck in the muck of everything and you're believing all that thinking. So that's kind of the transformation that I give. I also do 6 months of coaching as well, one-on-one coaching. So yeah, but
awesome. And I just want to give, I want to say I met Kristen. I think we met through another
yeah,
Facebook group. Like
yeah,
I'm gonna say random, but it's not random. I believe there was,
oh yeah, absolutely,
reconnected. And
absolutely.
I've done coaching with you, and I just,
Hmm.
it a coach sometimes, just has to show us. mirror or something. Like, are you looking at this? And it's like, damn, I don't want to look at that. Or no, stop. But it's amazing and it's powerful.
Mm,
And like I had a session, I forget exactly what it was called, but we did like um, and it was amazing. You taught me how to like really lean into your heart, get out of your head and get into your
mm,
heart because it's true. Your true
mm-hmm.
self has all the answers. We
Yep.
know it all. It's not, we don't need, and we know the answers for us. And it's just like that idea of going from your head to your heart. And it was just life
Mm,
changing. It was like, wow.
yeah. Yeah.
This is so powerful. And I
Yeah.
just love that you do this for moms. Like, wow, I loved my kids dearly, and
Hmm.
but that frustration of like, because it was I was gonna say it was overwhelming. It was because,
Yeah.
I had all these emotions and like whatever it was, but I love, and I encourage people. And I know Kristen said that yes, we can start this work ourselves, and that's true and great. But
Hmm.
I would say to you, lean into Kristen. It's worth whatever the money is. If you think
Hmm.
about uh, and it could happen a lot quicker with a coach, okay, than doing
Yes.
it yourself. And
Yep.
I'm not. It's just there's the idea of the value of what you pay for, and what you get
Yeah.
is amazing. Like if you could go to the store, and I don't even know what you're coaching, but say my is 2,400. If you could go to the
Hmm.
store for $2,400 and have peace, harmony, all these things, would you pay it?
Yep.
Absolutely. You'd figure out
Yep.
how to get it. So,
And too, like for me, for my package too, it's you're not buying it just for you, you're buying it for your kids and
oh
for your
my
kids'
gosh.
kids. And it's just
Yeah.
that's why I do this work. I'm just for the children to have moms who, understand them, understand themselves, and there's so much that goes with being a mom. It's a lot. It definitely
And
is.
giving
Yeah.
and doing. And I want to just encourage moms that the greatest thing you can do for your kids is love and validate yourself, because
Hmm.
that's the example. Like, can you imagine you do that for yourself and then you do that for your kids?
That's
That
it.
is what carries them to a beautiful place. They
Yeah.
don't have to have all this stuff. They have
Hmm.
themselves. They can go anywhere and
Yeah.
really create a beautiful life.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you want to add before we go?
Not that I can think. Well, I'll just say I wish I had it over here. My doodle. My favorite doodle was the validation and acceptance I really longed for was my own. We think
Hmm.
it's we want other people,
Yeah,
but our self is longing to validate ourselves. We can be
that's
there. We're
right.
the only ones that can love
Hmm.
ourselves the way we really need it. And like you say, Kristen, who can process and have our emotions. Like
Yeah,
we're it. And
that's right.
and the great part is we don't have to depend on anybody but ourselves.
Everything else is just a bonus. So,
Yep.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me on. I'm so
You're
grateful that I met you
welcome.
and that we connected
Same.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Let's see here. I'm just stopping